谁说财报只会跟数字有关？我们以人为题材，拿生活来书写，用60年的时间写下一份给所有人的财报。期待每一天，每个角落都在成长，都有盈余。如今，这份财报仍然在我们的生活中不断持续。作者就是每个人。
正向力量，成就可能。富邦金控。
停止在线练习，场上热身球员请回球队席。Warm-up is over. Both team player return to team bench area, please. Right now.
好的，同时也要来提醒所有现场的球迷朋友，在待会1分钟之后，我们将会要来进行关闭场灯的动作。同时也要提醒还没有入座的朋友呢，要赶快来对号入座。那么在待会关闭场灯之后，会稍微有点昏暗。如果你还在移动的同时，也要务必注意自己的脚步，特别是小朋友在移动，也要更加的注意安全。接着要再来提醒大家的是，除了今晚要全程沸腾陪伴着勇士队一起加油之外，也要配合政府的相关防疫政策，一起全程佩戴口罩。也最后再提醒我们场内禁止饮食，谢谢各位。
请球员回球队席，谢谢。
比赛要开始喽，赶快回座位坐好。
是的，中线提醒你赶快回到座位坐好。欢迎各位再一次来到台北和平篮球馆。是的，在我们今天台北富邦银行 We Believe 平。由我们最佳第6人一起加油，掌声鼓励给自己。真的需要各位一起来加油。那么在今天的赛前，我们也要邀请到这一次很开心大家一起来参与。我要先请大家帮我打开你们的手灯，一起拿起我们富邦集团60周年的手灯，一起点亮它，点亮和平篮球馆。接着我们就要准备好一起来参与这一刻非常重要的，正就是台北富邦勇士篮球队全新的年度主题曲《喊声》要来正式的全球首映。现在就让我们一起来欢迎创作人、演唱人、全创作唱跳歌手姑姑吕思维。
哎呦，全场球迷朋友，把声音借我好吗 ？OK， 我们一起把声音喊出来，火象！ Hands up，比我相信才不会说不，场上敌人都任我摆布，比我相信才不会说不，等着猎物都进我埋伏，比我相信才不会说不，什么挑战我都能应付，比我相信才不会说不，冲锋陷阵却不留退路。龙舞他说他手上只要有枪，没人能杀掉他。每一场的说哈，我们打的全是实力，不用靠嘴巴。飞在空中是想听到你们的尖叫声，披上那战衣，拿上弹力，无限的弹力，随时的反击，准备上我向。Yeah don't stop, yeah don't stop， 我向。Let's hear from who and why， 我向。We're Taipei Fubon Braves， 我向。Let's hear from who and why， 我向。Come on， 比我相信才不会说不，场上敌人都任我摆布，比我相信才不会说不，等着猎物就进我埋伏，比我相信才不会说不，什么挑战我都能应付，比我相信才不会说不，冲锋陷阵却不留退路。看我单手运球，单手过人转身扣篮，乱世中的勇士就是我们双枪上场，什么战术都超前部署，你不得不服。Sorry， 我的疏忽让你显得无辜，我的速度来吧，你都抢不赢，速度太速，靠爆你还不容易，准备上我向。Yeah don't stop, yeah don't stop， 我向。Let's hear from who and why， 我向。We're Taipei Fubon Braves， 我向。Let's hear from who and why， 我向。Come on， 比我相信才不会说不，任我摆布，比我相信才不会说不，要进我埋伏，比我相信才不会说不，什么挑战我都能应付，比我相信才不会说不，冲锋陷阵却不留退路。We want more， hey。Fubon to the house, we want more, yeah, we never stop, yo to the house, we want more, hey, we never stop, oh my fans to the house, we want more, come on， 比我相信才不会说不，比我相信才不会说不 ，come on， 比我相信才不会说不，什么挑战我都能应付，比我相信才不会说不。冲锋陷阵就不留退路。谢谢，
再一次掌声，谢谢鼓鼓女四位。
观众朋友们，现在介绍本场比赛双方球队登录名单。首先介绍客队高雄钢铁人。球衣背号0号 Number 0戴瑞腾，背号8号王绿翔，10号王柏志，11号林君豪，12号郑德维，15号卢哲义，63号彭俊彦。先发球员 Starting by 背号1号 Number 1 Anthony Tucker。背号4号 Number 4后卫陈佑伟，6号 Number 6 at center Keith Benson， 13号小前锋 Number 14吕正如，23号中锋蓝少虎，高雄钢铁人总教练 The Head Coach DeMarcus Berry， 助理教练 Assistant Coach 洪启超、周华东，防护师包俊新。球队管理沈秋展，总经理 GM 张志妍。球迷朋友们，全新的赛季，我们将以卫冕目标迈进，相信自己没有极限，相信队友，相信教练，相信球迷朋友们的支持力量，相信富邦勇士无限的可能。今年也将再次打造热血沸腾的勇士主场。
me to prove it, I'm ready to do it, I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now, I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. So what are you afraid of? The feelings are made up. Get in the game, your moment of fame, so then what you made of. It's time that we stand up, it's time that we man up. For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up. None of you people can tell me to stop. This time, like the last time, you better get ready to wrestle until you get through this. Show you what the truth is. I step on the field, it's time to get real. I'm feeling so ruthless. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown.
投给志杰，这一球非常的投手，逼中投前了。
So turn me up real loud. My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
We believe， 凭我相信，富邦勇士的球迷朋友们，你们准备好了吗？现在介绍地主队台北富邦勇士队本场比赛球员登录名单，让我听到你们的尖叫声。首先欢迎勇士吉祥物比尔。 球员出场，球衣背号8号，后卫兼前锋，勇士队鲑鱼，身高192公分，周桂宇。背号23号，中锋198公分，Number 23 Smart 石伯恩。背号29号，前锋188公分，勇士新战力张根宇。 下面介绍先发球员的 Starting Five。首先介绍的是背号14号，前锋188公分，本土洋将蔡文成。背号17号，全能前锋，原年 Final MVP Number 17 at forward Michael Singletary。 13号前锋195公分，我梦林梦璇。背号32号中锋211公分，元年最佳洋将小夫塞瑟夫。Number 22 at center Igor Zaitsev。最后介绍出场的是背号3号后卫193公分 ，Jet 台湾喷射机张宗宪。总教练 Head Coach 许晋哲，助理教练 Assistant Coach 吴永仁、江志胜、林伟浩、魏维，体能教练郑维轩，防护师林武章，助理防护师彭玉明，领队 GN Chris 蔡成儒。好，现在请双方球员场中。
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, seniors and youth. The road team took game 1 of the regular season to the defending champs, come back with a dub, or do we see the new kids get in the win column? After taking down the monster for a triumphant preseason victory, the Kaohsiung Steelers are in town to take on the Taipei Fubon Braves. It's Plus League action here in Hoping Gymnasium in Taipei City. I'm Ryan Chen, your English play-by-play, and joining me on the broadcast is Coach Ben Metcalf.
Hey Ryan, great to be back after a quick turnaround.
As we saw in yesterday's game, a shortened Braves rotation got even shorter with some injuries throughout the process of the game. On your screen right now are our Mandarin commentators. On the right, Tiong Kuei, that's Mark. And on the left, Wu Jingqi. Xiaohu was making his Plus League regular season debut after we saw him in the preseason. So good luck to Xiaohu and his newfound broadcasting career in front of the camera. So Coach Ben, the domino effect really taking place here with the championship Braves on their title defense. Short rotation yesterday, which got even shorter. So the domino is the guys playing yesterday have to play an extra load, and they have the challenge of playing back-to-back against a team that's fresh.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday that if you're the home team, you're going to have a back-to-back, so it kind of cancels out, or at least evens out that home court advantage. We see right there Beast, who tweaked an ankle yesterday, and along with Jack, the Braves are going to be down in another 2 players. So Coach Roger right there is thinking how he's going to do this game plan with only 8 guys.
On the screen is Coach Roger Xu Jingze. At this point, their staff almost has more guys than available bodies right now. On screen is Jet Zhang Longxian, playing 35 minutes in yesterday's contest. Had a lot of frustrations maybe with play and maybe with officiating, but all in all, just a bad performance for the Braves in total.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Mostly they're typically very, very stable players, very consistent players like Jet, like Singletary. Didn't have great games yesterday, but we know with the champions, they're going to come back in a back-to-back and have a nice response.
Yuri Zaisev will make his second season debut. He'll play a key role as the fresh import, even though Michael Singletary only played 21 minutes, but threw up 6 3-pointers before finally making the 7th close to the end of the game. How do the imports deal with the back-to-back?
Well, like you said, Singletary was straddled with foul trouble yesterday. Had 3 in the first half, so didn't play as much and really didn't find a groove. You mentioned it in the fourth quarter, missed a bunch of threes that would have tied the game, but I'm sure that he'll bounce back. And like you said, Zaitsev, after having yesterday off, I'm sure is ready to get his regular season debut out there.
Other players on the bench is Joseph Lin and then Louis Jianwei Lu. But also concerning maybe is the possible head injury of Zhang Gengyu running into the base of the basket.
Yeah, so I think that we could probably do half an hour of just watching all these Braves rotation players who aren't available for today's action. I think we counted 6 of them total. So they've already had some issues this year. We talked about them trying to get that next generation ready to contribute, and that process may be accelerated with these injuries.
Is there any strategic changes you would expect from the game, or a lot of back to the basics, try to slow the pace down?
It's kind of got to depend on how these younger players can do. I mean, you're looking at a back-to-back. There was no practice yesterday, probably no walkthrough this morning, so not a lot of game plan things that you can talk to these players about. Maybe a little bit more zone since you're down some players. Again, try and maybe slow the pace down a little bit, but we know that Fubon is kind of known for their fast break attacks, so it's really a tough challenge for these Braves today.
Our officiating crew, including the debut of our female referee, Huang Xiaohan, also making his debut, Chen Hongming. But for the Steelers on the other side, have 12 guys, one short of the full allotted roster. Their starting lineup from left to right is Keith Benson, joining Lan Shaofu, Chen Youwei, Anthony Tucker, and Captain Lu Zhenlu. For the Braves, they will start Zaisev, Ray Li Mengxue. Winston will be joining them in the starting lineup, and Jet Zhang Longxian, of course, along with Singletary, showing off their new City Taipei jerseys.
Yeah, not only is this going to be everybody's first look at these Steelers in regular season action, but I think everybody's most excited for the 2 imports there for the Steelers. We didn't get a chance to see them in the preseason as they were still in the quarantine. We actually didn't even get a chance to see their head coach. So as we see Anthony Tucker there has obviously had some success, not just in Asia, but also in this league last year with the Dreamers. So everybody's excited to see how they fit into Coach Berry's system and how these Steelers do.
Anthony Tucker led the Plus League last year in average scoring per game and assists per game. And what we know of Coach DeMarcus Berry so far is he likes to drill the guys quite a bit, and maybe a product of coming in a little later in the process and having very little time with the players, including the import. So that moho, that team building is kind of late on the process. Their domestic players are more familiar with each other working all summer.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a very pick and roll heavy attack right here for these Steelers. We know that Anthony Tucker, he just thrives in those pick and rolls. He's going to have the ball in his hands quite a bit. And with some of these shooters, like we see Captain Lou out there on the perimeter, they're probably going to keep it simple, not try to do too much, because as you mentioned, there's a lot of chemistry that still needs to be built up.
Like Coach mentioned, the road team will probably be a little bit more of an advantage than last season, where every back-to-back included road and home teams. But 10 Friday games and 4 Monday games, this Plus League schedule is, in a lot of ways, being a lot more dynamic, and in other ways, a lot more consistency with home back-to-backs for commercial purposes, and the road teams need a little bit more rest, trying to keep guys healthy, though won't be the case to start things off.
Here's a pet peeve, Ryan. When did the road team start wearing white jerseys?
It must be, what would we say, maybe the last 5 years with third and fourth alternate jerseys.
What was I watching? The Spurs-Warriors game, and the Spurs are wearing white jerseys. And can't keep track of these things. Maybe I'm a traditionalist, right?
Well, Coach, football jerseys, the home teams are always wearing the dark colors. It's kind of an interesting wrinkle.
Talking basketball, right? I'm sorry, I'll get off my lawn. I know I'm an old man, so back to the action.
The honorary first tip off is we see Charles Chen nearby courtside. Some of our other courtside fans just about ready to go. Yura Zaitsev, the import of the year for the Plus League in the first season. The tip is up, and Steelers will start with the basketball. The Braves in the zone they like.
So you mentioned strategy-wise, obviously with a shortened rotation, maybe that these Braves will go to a little bit more zone, try and save those legs, and looks like the Steelers weren't anticipating that.
Jerry missed the first shot of the game for the Steelers. Now Zaitsev with the right hook off the front of the iron.
Braves trying to get him involved early after taking yesterday off.
The Steelers did shoot a prolific amount of threes in the preseason. The Braves trying to take advantage of their length. Jerry from the corner. Captain Lou, very little space. Front iron, Benson, second chance, also short.
To be honest, zone offense is probably one of the last things that you put in as a new coach. You're trying to get in, you're trying to get your defensive game set in there, those principles, you're trying to get a basic offense, and zone kind of falls to the back. When you do put it in, normally it's against the 2-3 zone, so this 3-2 look for the Braves, initially creating some issues for the Steelers, but I anticipate as time goes on, they'll probably figure it out.
Singletary misses his first shot.
He started out this season ice cold from three.
That's all Fool from the free throw line, banks it, no. Long rebound. Captain Lou from the corner is way short, so the Steelers came in last night for a little bit of a shoot around and a light workout. Still getting used to the stadium maybe when it's fully lit. To the pull up and rolls in the three.
Obviously, with him not being hot from three, these Steelers going under on those pick and rolls. We'll see how long that continues.
Nassau will fire from the right side, overshoots the rainbow.
The youngster, after the nice defensive play there, he's going to get a lot of looks against this zone.
Jerry to the rim, and Benson with the first points in Kaohsiung Steelers history on the follow-up.
And that's going to be interesting for these Braves. We saw them look a little bit tired in the second half against the Dreamers with that pressure defense. Now today on a back-to-back, it's something to monitor.
Floater again. Michael Singletary has the first 5 points for the Braves. The thing about this zone is that Winston will flex down low. Captain Lou drains the three from the right side.
That's the one guy you can't leave open against that zone. We talked about facing it a little bit more, start to figure out the spots. Captain Lou going towards the corner, finding some open space.
Good defense by Lan Xiaofu, forces the miss. Over pursuit, and Captain Lou loses the basketball. He thought he got hit. Now on the break, Mengxue. Singletary to Zaisev. His hook shot still out.
One from the left side, one from the right side. Even start for Big Z.
Coach mentioned it last year. Anthony Tucker's not a guy to sprint up with the basketball. He'll fire from outside, no.
Yeah, he plays at his own pace, and he does what he does and does it well. Those pick and rolls, obviously we're not seeing him as much against the zone, but that's something that has the Braves very concerned.
Another bucket for Michael Singletary.
And that's the rhythm that he never really found last night. Today, get some early shots, a lot of early shots, and able to get in his own rhythm.
Overall, shooting 4 for 13. That's off with baby hook. Short, there's Benson once again. No call, and here come the Braves. Jet with his mid-range. No. Lucky bounce for Mengxue, who joins Michael Singletary in the scoring column.
That's all right there. Keith Benson not even in the picture. The Braves, 3 guys in the paint. Easy putback for them.
Mengxue played for 31 minutes in yesterday's contest.
We've seen Xiaofu get some good looks from right there in the mid-range, but that's not something that he's good at. It's not something he's been working at as a player. So.
Jerry forced to put one up, floats it in.
Nice little screen there by Benson, clearing out the defense. Jerry with a sweet little floater in the middle of the zone.
Jet fakes right, dribbles left. Singletary's there for the lay-in.
Much more aggressive Singletary, definitely playing more like his MVP performance that he had last year in the finals.
Now Braves stepping up in the zone a little bit more. Xiaofu to pull it from behind. Jet to Winston, easy lay-in. No, he blows it. And there's a foul on the offensive rebound.
Not that easy, I guess, Ryan.
It's not that easy.
We see Xiaofu just being forced into being a playmaker, something that he's not used to. Struggling a little bit at the beginning of the game so far.
After the action, will be our first time out of the game. Thanks for watching Plus League Basketball. We'll be back after the break. Welcome back to the broadcast, fans. Like the stream wherever you are. In fact, the further the better. For the likes, but likes always appreciated. Good start for the Braves in this one, but yesterday, Coach, they led the first half 60-43, I believe. So sustaining the momentum will be their key.
And that's something that the Dreamers did well last night. They just kept to their game plan, knowing that it would take effect later in the game, and obviously had a chance to come from behind and win that game. This Steelers team being a little bit younger, being a little bit more unfamiliar with themselves and their coach, it's going to be a challenge going up against the defending champions today.
I think it might be a product of maybe the lows that they're having in the locker room, having a lot of guys hurt and losing the first game. But, Coach, the team culture, does it come out when the team is winning a lot, or when they're kind of maybe a little bit low on morale?
I mean, it's obviously easy to be happy and love everybody when you're winning, as we've seen before. Winning kind of cures all ills. So that team culture is tested when you lose some games. And obviously, these Braves have lost one game right now. I'm sure. Well, Coach Rogers probably freaking out about it, but I can guarantee you that some of the vets like Winston and Beast and Jet, they know it's a process. We just got to fix what didn't work last night and keep at it.
Jerry fires another three short. One change for the Steelers as Bill Ling Junhao, number 11, comes in for Lan Shaofu. Yeah. Two guys who played center in college, but trying to make him into fours, even threes.
Yeah, as we said, against that zone, you need somebody to be able to make plays at the middle or shoot from range. And Coach Barry's seeing if number 11 right there is that guy.
Rebound, Jerry pokes it, but Singletary gets it back.
Climbed Mike Singletary and not able to get the offensive rebound.
Poked away by Captain Lou. Mongshire was open.
Good rotation there under the basket. They're going to poke it away. And that's where Coach Barry's probably still trying to figure out how these players can play in real games and if he can trust them and what kind of adjustments they can make during the game. So it's going to be a learning process.
Zaitsev to Singletary, pick and roll. This mid-range, no. An offensive board. Leads to Mongshire. Miss and miss again. Braves having trouble with that side of the rim.
Zaitsev having trouble with both sides of the rim.
Mongshire, number 8, is in the game as well.
You can see right there 3 Braves surrounding Anthony Tucker, and probably a little more too physical for his liking, but you can tell how much they fear and respect the scoring prowess that Tucker brings.
Brandon Smart and Ja Tokwe will come in for the Braves.
I hate to be a broken record here, Ryan, but yesterday those Josh minutes really struggled for these Braves. So definitely something to watch here, how much he plays on the ball as a point guard and how much he plays as a wing.
So far we've seen the Steelers like to switch everything. Brendan Smart to Winston. Spins into space and blows the lay-in. A little bit of dodgeball, and Zaitsev eventually pokes it out.
I don't know, we talk about it being home court advantage, but these Braves cannot buy a layup here in this first quarter. Almost 5 or 6 already. They could have broken this game open if they just made half of these layups.
They inbound. Another Singletary and Zaitsev pick and roll leads to an open floater.
Great roll right there by Big Z. Good pace by Singletary. Big Z able to create some opening for Mike, who continues to have a great first quarter.
A little bit of a bump and out of bounds. Bill trying to go right. Might feel that tomorrow.
Yeah, but we've seen these 4s for the Steelers struggle. Not really being guarded at all, forced to make plays. Not something that they're really adept at.
Singletary with space again to Zaitsev, missing another layup. Now the other way. Little Lou with his mid-range rolls it in.
Great shot, but really created by Keith Benson's rim sprint, forcing the help, and this is what we saw a lot of yesterday. Just dumb turnovers by these Braves before even reaching half court. Coach Roger, not thrilled.
But in yesterday's post-game interview, Roger, not so much angry as just maybe out of breath and a little fatigued, just like the players. Long rebound to Smart. His floater, didn't even look at the basket. More dodgeball and more Winston with a good luck, but Tucker takes it right back. Coming the other way, Captain Lou's corner 3. Short.
We've seen the Steelers consistently get decent looks in transition. You mentioned this being a back-to-back with a depleted roster. It's definitely going to be a challenge for these Braves.
Singletary from deep, no.
And he's getting these looks because Benson's not going to be switching. Looks like these Steelers switching 1 through 4, but Benson's just playing weak on all these big and roll covers.
Little misses another 3. They are 1 for 9 so far from beyond the arc. Fast break, and Bill's there for the D. Nice cut, and Smart will lay it in.
Great cut right there. Singletary had the entire focus of the defense. Good cut by Smart behind. And hey, Braves made a layup, Brian.
Benson shakes Smart and banks it home.
Well, we talked about being able to make plays in the middle of that zone, and hey, 2 points is 2 points, right?
Michael Singletary is strong enough to make the layup. Of course, Coach, we talk about the right side basket, can't make layups, but the left side basket is the basket for the trick shots. So a lot of banked in shots unintentionally, and of course Jets unintended, like 18-foot layup, as there's a nice step back.
Yeah, it's puzzling defense right there from Singletary. Just kind of let Tucker go on that step back. We know that he's a player who, once he gets going, it's tough to stop.
Decisive work on Benson. Good anticipation, but even better shot making.
Big Z not wanting to go to that left at all, spun back to that right, and able to hit it over Benson.
$16 paint points to just 8. Braves advantage over the Steelers. Little driving, blocked at the rim. Here comes a 2-on-1. Winston missing a layup. Singletary has got the feel for that side of the basketball court.
Again, Winston helping him out with another blown layup. Singletary, 2 points in transition again.
Offensive rebounds, a big thing with all these missed shots. 8 by the Braves, 4 by the Steelers.
And most of them being in transition, too. That's something that these Steelers are going to have to get used to. Again, Coach Barry, sure, still trying to figure out the pace of Taiwanese basketball. Again, it's fast, fast, fast. Those transition opportunities are going to be there.
Gary leaves it short. Lansov picks up the air ball.
Short. Perfect pass right there.
Perfect pass. We'll make sure the score table agrees with us on that one. Decisive took advantage of low position and got the foul on Wang Bo-Zi, the tank, fresh in the game.
And this is where his teammates are going to have to recognize that he's a little bit different than Benson. You see Benson, second he went to the bench, Braves going right to Big Z. Teammates probably going to have to help out a little bit, but not right now as Coach Roger takes Big Z out of the game for a little rest.
Ray Li Mengxue is back in. One import against one import as Ray is left open and blows the layup. Smart, though, could finish off the possession.
These guys just padding their stats. A little bit of miscommunication on that baseline out. Smart able to pick up the loose ball.
Layup missed, and the chance for the Braves to extend their lead.
See if they take advantage of the 2-for-1 here. Extend the lead before the end of the first quarter.
Short with the runner. Gary from the corner to the other corner. And Tucker's left open. Drills it.
Yeah, we talked about Tucker. He's a player, once he gets it going, he's tough to stop. After that first 3, really the only shooter on the court. He's somebody that these Braves need to pay attention to.
Running low on time, Singletary will try to answer, in and out. Another chance. Too strong. Good start by the Braves, but the Steelers, one of 2 new teams in the Plus League, hang with them. We'll go to another break before the second quarter. You're watching the Plus League on YouTube. Back after this.
双手一起，用力拍手。给自己掌声鼓励。那么要来跟大家介绍，今天我们 Angels 有我们的柠檬，以及莹莹，还有丹丹、Jessie， 还有我们的东东，还有玉夸夸以及杰米，最后是我们队长卡卡，还有大家最喜欢的比尔，就要陪伴大家一起为勇士队来加油。接下来继续一起来加油喽！谢谢。
好，举起你的双手，一起来。
30 days since a local COVID-19 infection here in Taiwan. Keep up the good work, everybody. Fortunate for the Plus League to have fans come in, support their teams, and support the league. I'm Ryan Chen, along with Coach Ben, your English commentators for this broadcast. The Braves take a first quarter lead, 25-21. Like we mentioned, Coach, yesterday the Braves went to the zone at strategic times, and now starting this game off against the Steelers, maybe resting their legs a little bit as well.
Yeah, again, I'm sure part of it's a strategy thing, knowing that these Steelers probably haven't worked on an offense to go against a 3-2 zone. Partially it's to rest guys' legs, and partially it's to keep guys out of foul trouble. We saw in the first quarter the Braves combined with 0 team fouls. So on all three accounts, it's worked so far, going into the second quarter with a lead here.
With the poor shooting, there's a lot of rebounds out there. 25 for the Braves in the first quarter, 11 of them on the offensive end, and like Coach mentioned, a lot of blown layups lead to a lot of offensive rebounds.
Yeah, I'm beginning to think these guys are padding stats as we see another issue with the shot clock. But I think we've started doing fantasy basketball in here in Taiwan, I hear. So maybe
that is something that's out in the EFIS.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to help out their fantasy team. I don't know.
A stoppage in play will lead to me looking up some stats for you, trying to inform the fans about our league. The highest tally of offensive rebounds was 27 last season. That was done by Taipei Fubon Braves against the Pilots on January 2nd. Hey, Coach, January 2nd, there's also Braves basketball this upcoming season.
Take your word for it. Take these games one day at a time.
Sound like such a coach, Coach.
Hey, once a coach, always a coach.
Fans might remember from last season and the first game this season, the Hoping Stadium issues with the clock, issues with the LED lights. It's a stadium that's a site for high-level international basketball, but some of the hardware may be in need of updates. Taking a look at Michael Singletary's first quarter.
Much more active first quarter from Mike today. Got up 14 shots in the first quarter after only getting up 13 all of yesterday. So being able to stay out of foul trouble, get in rhythm, that's something that these Braves need quite a bit today with the leading roster.
Only 1 for 5 beyond three-point range. Beyond three-point range. But today, a little bit more aggressive, taking the ball in a step or two.
Yeah, and partially that's because of the Steelers' defense. Obviously not as established as what Coach George has with the Dreamers.
Now Steelers' zone defense leads to a missed shot, but another chance for the Braves. Overpass by Jet, turnover.
Well, at least they're consistent. We saw them overpass DeGuara a couple times last night. Today, doing the same thing to their other big men.
They turned the ball over 24 times in yesterday's game. 4 so far in this one.
You see right now with the subs in for the Steelers, really the only shooters are going to look for the corners. We see the youngster, Salfu, after having a rough first quarter, goes right to that corner against the zone. Good start for the Steelers.
5 points for the product out of National Taiwan University of Sport. Zaisef in the middle now. Got Little Lou on him. Well, coax the foul on the drive.
Yeah, easy call there. But as we said, Ryan, in the first quarter, these Steelers are very unorganized against that zone. Here in the second quarter, after some time, they figured out where those spots are going to be. So it's going to be interesting to see how long these Braves stay in that zone. Probably stuck with it a little bit too long yesterday. Let the Dreamers get off to a little bit of a roll. So see how long Coach Rogers sticks with that 3-2 zone.
Jackie Zhang brings it out. Now Jet drives. He'll put it up. And another missed shot, but out of bounds, stays with the Braves.
This is going to be a challenge for this Braves roster. There's not a lot of shooting right now, especially with somebody like Joe Lin out of the game yesterday. Less than 30% from 3. Singletary obviously struggling, but that's where they need playmakers like that. Big Z rolling down the lane, finally getting a layup to go.
Only the second made shot for Ior Zaisef in 8 tries. Nice no-look pass. Little Lou finishes at the basket.
Yeah, and that's what Angry Bird is going to do. Gets in the middle of the zone, sees the big step up, great cut on the baseline. Nice layup from Little Lou.
Speaking of Boiti, Lan Xiaofu and Wang Bozi, teammates at the collegiate level. Tank a little bit more senior, shall we say.
Nice shot.
Bird to Tank, who throws it to Tucker. Was that a no-look catch by Professor Tucker?
Chemistry.
Nice hands by Singletary to deflect that out of bounds.
Yeah, and we see these Braves really not defending the nail at all. Lots of room right there for Tank to throw those passes, but if they have somebody who can hit that mid-range jumper or those floaters, it's going to be there for them all game.
We saw Tank made 2 3-pointers in their win against the Braves. That was maybe not so much of a surprise because we've seen him nail 3 after 3 in practice. Angerbird left alone in the corner. His 3 is no.
But once more, these Steelers finding the corners against that 3-2 zone, forcing those Braves bigs out. Something that Coach Barry obviously talked to him about in the timeout.
Good positioning, Lan Xiaofu with a steal. Tucker with a transition 3, too strong.
Yeah, Braves fortunate there after another poor decision offensively, trying to pass it in the post, another turnover. And Tucker just not able to take advantage of the transition.
To the corner, Singletary's 3. Off, and another offensive rebound. Winston missing his elbow J and shooting splits. Quite unfortunate, shall we say.
These Steelers willing to sit back in that zone until the Braves can prove they can make a 3. And the Steelers, on the other hand, getting some shooting in with Captain Lou getting in the game.
Singletary from the corner. As Jerry Caniowe is in the game. Second overall pick from the Plus League draft. Captain Lou back to Jerry. Driving with space, misses the runner.
Again, the middle of that zone is wide open, especially when you get Tucker in the corner and Benson down there on the post. But Steelers just not able to make many of those shots so far.
Now Zaisef will take a 3 off to the right, and Jet with a lucky deflection.
We've seen the Braves struggle a little bit rebounding out of the zone. Same thing for these Steelers.
Nice step through and 2 points for Jets on Chen, his first points of the game.
Nice footwork right there to get around Anthony Tucker and get a layup to go.
Sophomore from the corner thought about it. Nice poke by Smart. 3-on-2, Jet all the way to the rim, leaves it short, and Singletary can't finish.
These Braves just look like they have 0 legs today. Everything coming up a little bit short. Tucker once again getting loose in transition, hitting a mid-range, cutting it to a 4-point lead.
Professor Tucker, the first player of the Steelers to reach double digits. He has 10 points and 3 assists. There's a long rainbow made by none other than Michael Singletary.
Yeah, 2 threes in a row for Finals MVP. We said they need somebody to start hitting some shots, and 21 in the first quarter and a half. Much better start here for Mike Singletary.
Captain Lou comes around, and there's a reaching foul by Jet.
Yeah, not sure. A little bit of a miscommunication with the Braves. Not sure if they went to a 2-3 zone or man. But maybe time for them to start mixing things up defensively.
Here's Coach Barry donning the suit. As we get some substitutions going around. That is, as you mentioned, Coach, the first foul by the Braves in this game.
First foul called.
First foul called.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been many fouls by these Braves.
No.
Refs just haven't called them.
Benson was spaced in the middle, but runs into the opponents as Medium Lou left with the basketball. Too late, shot clock violation.
Yeah, Coach Barry not thrilled with that shot clock awareness. Turnover for these Steelers.
General Manager Huyens behind him. Singletary to Zaitsev. Long 2. Left is short.
Steelers back into man after a couple made threes from Singletary, but Steelers not able to take advantage on a run back.
It's the 6th turnover by the Steelers. The Doak Warrior at point experience with that random pass. I guess he hit the right guy. As Singletary tries another 3, no.
He just threw it behind his head, Ryan. This experiment is interesting, to say the least.
It'll be a loose ball foul on the Tucker missed shot.
Yeah, Josh he's just in such a rush right now, really. His teammates trying to help him out, set some screens, but as we see Coach Barry communicating with the referees, something that foreign coaches love to do in Taiwan. But again, Josh is he's in such a rush, not letting his teammates help him out, and then just getting himself in some tough situations.
Winston might be able to help him out some more. He finds Singletary, a lot of attention, tough shot and tough make.
Singletary continues to dominate this first half for the Braves, but like you said, Braves just need somebody to help them bring the ball up and kind of get them sorted out. Yesterday, really nobody did that for them today. Kind of point guard by committee.
Deep 3, Benson's there, another offensive rebound. Lays in the putback.
And as we said, the Braves struggling a little bit to rebound out of the zone. Benson able to get a putback.
6 points and 7 rebounds for the Ohio native as there's a blocking foul.
And this is the Singletary that we've grown to love. Just a physical player, finding bodies, going right through people, creating the contact, and creating those fouls.
After a short stint in the first quarter, Tank is back out there. They also have Austin Derrick on the bench, who just flashed across the screen.
Yeah, this will be Benson and Tank's first shot on the court together. As Tucker's trying to speed up the pace of this game a little bit as the Braves get themselves organized.
Winston from the outside, his shot grazes the rim off Tank.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to watch. Tank, probably not much time at the 4 in his career. Not sure if he'd be playing there or if it'd be Benson spacing out as Singletary puts up another. A lot of experimentation going on for the Steelers.
Another missed shot by Professor Tucker. Talked about yesterday, it's kind of that awkward phase where your imports are also trying to get in game shape in the regular season with this, I guess, odd and trying offseason. There's a nice made shot.
And we mentioned that probably the best thing Tucker does is get into that pick and roll game. And really, by going into the zone, the Braves have taken that away from him. Good strategic decision by the coaching staff, but it's just him trying to figure out where the open shots are. And every time he's gotten loose so far, he's made these threes.
Little Wang Yuxiang, drafted by the Braves, 5th overall in the Plus League draft, but then traded for next year's first-round pick. Captain Liu down low to Little Liu, ran out of spaces. Tucker takes the deep 3 short.
These Steelers just backing up farther and farther, trying to get open shots up against this Braves zone. Singletary not able to get the layup, but once again, the Braves with an offensive rebound putback, extending their lead.
First points for the captain. There's Luz with the basketball. Singletary with Captain Liu in tow. Misses the dunk attempt. Got to recover after that one.
We said just no legs here for these Braves.
So Josh able to steal and finish coast to coast. Bad exchange for the Steelers as there's a timeout.
And those are those cross to sideline passes. They're so dangerous. Good anticipation by Josh to get the easiest 2 he'll have today.
We'll go to a break as the Braves open up to a 13-point lead.
好，观众朋友们，请看大荧幕，穿上勇士球衣，赶紧去办北部营勇士千丈金融卡。看我们的大荧幕哦，好，穿上勇士队的球衣，赶快去台北富邦银行办勇士千丈金融卡。啊，这位小姐你已经上电视了。 这位同学，你上电视喽！穿上勇士队的球衣，记得要去申办北部营勇士千丈金融卡。
Next week, the Plus League kicks into full gear. Openers in Taichung, where the Formosa Taixing Dreamers will call home, and the Hsinchu Jiekou Lioneers, and all 6 teams join in the fray. Buy the few remaining tickets and get in. Or watch it right here on YouTube. Fans here enjoyed the pregame floor light show after yesterday's ring ceremony and the debut of the Braves theme song, which they've been holding off until now. Even though they're shorthanded, the Braves with a good run here in the second quarter to break this game open a little.
Again, taking advantage of some turnovers from these Steelers and finally starting to make some layups. It's been an up and down first half so far for these Steelers.
No one opening up. Captain Liu fouled first.
Yeah, it's just the experience of Captain Liu, knowing that everybody can try and chase him off the line, creating that foul, which these Steelers have to figure out something to get some easy points because they've been stuck on 30 for a while and not a lot of great opportunities as we see Big Z get the block in the corner.
Had a Plus League preseason high of 35 points against the Braves as Winston makes the runner.
They said, hey, I'm not making any layups, might as well jump from outside the paint, get that little floater to go and extend this Braves lead.
Tucker touch pass. Benson from the corner, got it.
We've seen nobody really able to make plays for these Steelers in the middle. Coach Berry putting Anthony Tucker in there, able to distribute from there, and Benson able to find a little bit of open space in the short corner.
Minutes without Michael Singletary. Jet trying the range, off back iron. Captain Liu always seems to dribble left, and the Braves have that covered.
Yeah, Josh, much better job that time cutting him off and not getting called for the foul.
He tanked from the top. His three is all net.
As you said, he's shown the shooting touch in the preseason. Whoever they can get to make a three, I'm sure that coaching staff will be thrilled.
Zaitsev with the driving kick to Smart. His three clanks out. Had a tough game yesterday. Trying to have a better one here. Benson drives and puts it up.
Yeah, good help defense right there. Benson going up against two in transition, not able to make the awkward match.
Pick and roll, Winston with Zaitsev. Now from the post. He likes the right hand, flips it, and it's an air ball.
Yeah, he just looks completely out of it. First action for him. He's having the same issues that Mike Singletary had yesterday.
Captain moves deep three. Tucker almost pushed it in.
Yeah, it continues to be struggles for these Steelers from beyond the three-point line.
Good find, Smart's right-hand push shot is good.
Nice footwork there to get around Tank and put that little half hook up there. Much better performance for the second-year player for the Braves.
Tank intercepted by Winston.
Yeah, great read right there by Winston to anticipate the pass and get his hands on it.
Yeah, nails the mid-range. Under a minute to go. The Braves break it to a 17-point lead. Excuse me, 14. Am I doing this right?
No, you're not. Just ask me about the math, Ryan. I got you.
Tucker fakes. Captain Lou open on the left side and finally hits it. There's a buzzer.
That's what we said. Anthony Tucker's been the one Steelers player who's been able to create from the middle. Somewhere you might not want him because he's one of their primary scorers, but at this point, the biggest opening in this against this Braves zone is in the middle, and they just have to get guys who can make some plays.
Timeout by the Braves. They want to take advantage of the last 35 seconds. Looks like Ray Limonchier will come into the game, and so will Michael Singletary.
Yeah, these Braves just playing with not much energy. Unfortunately, these Steelers not able to do anything, put any pressure on them defensively, or really put too much pressure on them offensively, getting up and down. A different story than what we saw last time.
Mentioned that the Steelers want to take a lot of three-pointers as a young team, trying to space out the floor. 6 for 21, that's only 28%. Meanwhile, the Braves, 3 for 15. 10 of those attempts by Michael Singletary. 7 fouls by the Steelers. And a big advantage in paint scoring, partly with those fast breaks and a lot of those on the second opportunities.
Yeah, Coach Barry just trying to pump his guys up, let them know, hey, these 35 seconds are important. They get a stop, get a bucket, they can cut this to a single point or a single-digit deficit. Again, going into halftime down 9 is a lot different than going in down 13.
Captain Wu giving some instructions. Was an important piece of the team, giving instructions along with Coach Hongji Cao as Coach DeMarcus Berry not able to make it to Taiwan for quarantine rules or work permit issues. They're all together now, so they'll have a chance to figure it out. Jet. Waiting for the play to develop. Smart from the corner. His three is a no. And Tank finally collects.
And that's what Coach Barry was saying. Get a stop, get a bucket, go in down 8 or 9. After pretty poor first half for these Steelers, you can go in feeling pretty good about yourself.
Under 10 seconds, Little Lou thought about it. Anthony Tucker will be left to defuse the bomb, and it's out. Yeah, so rough shooting half for the Steelers, and the Braves have a pretty good first half and are trying to finish it off after the halftime.
Yeah, a bit disorganized there on that last possession. Anthony Tucker stuck with the ball trying to get it up before that buzzer, but all in all, slow-paced first half right here. Not something you'd expect from.
手灯好吗？我们要用更大的热情来陪伴他。接下来，就让我们一起欢迎谷谷吕思伟在哪里？
嘿哟，大家你们好吗？球迷朋友，把声音借我好吗？嘿，嘿 ，Come on，Come on，Yeah， 嘿，嘿。 我们从不轻易投降，把握越是凶猛，我们越是往往我们的主场。谁胆敢阻挡？嘿！我们并肩亡命天涯，坚守信仰之道，我们统一天下，和敌的金刚。是非的强壮。谁在我们主场撒野？谁在我们伤口撒野？我们一生杀敌捍卫。 谁是不进总队？谁在我们主场撒野？谁在我们伤口撒野？我们一生血迷一回。Say what? Yes sir, we are Metcalf human. No doubt we got superpower. Hey. 水险险大浪回响，我们一路冲撞，只为一夜辉煌我们的主场。准备好封王，烈火才能烧出凤凰，千军万马挡不住滚烫的锋芒，一切的翅膀，梦想。哎，谁在我们主场撒野？谁在我们伤口？我们联手杀敌。 谁在我们主场撒野？谁在我们伤口撒野？我们一生血迷一回。Hands up! Yes sir, we are anti-human. No doubt we got superpower. Yes sir, we are anti-human. 把声音借给我好不好 ？Say oh yeah! Say oh yeah! Say oh yeah! 对啊！谁在我们主场撒野？谁在我们伤口撒野？我们联手大力捍卫。
Welcome back to the broadcast. See all the new improvements to the Plus League site with record holders, last season award winners, and more. Visit PLeagueofficial.com. It's the regular season debut for the Kaohsiung Steelers, and major shooting issues have led them to only score 38 at the halftime. Meanwhile, the Braves, counting on import Michael Singletary on a back-to-back, he's got the high tally of scoring in this game.
Yeah, kind of lethargic game on both sides. Braves, as we mentioned about 100 times on a back-to-back. These Steelers trying to figure out themselves and their own playing style. So we see the Steelers show some signs of life, and we saw after yesterday, these Braves can give up a 17-point lead at halftime. So it's going to be an interesting second half.
So we mentioned working with your imports is a learning experience. Right now, Anthony Tucker and Keith Benson, the only reliable scorers for the Steelers. Is there something about coming into a big arena and shooting in an unfamiliar environment for the Steelers?
Sure, it's a they're taking some time to get used to those sidelines, but really for them, it's just been getting used to this Brave zone. We've seen them try different people in the middle of that zone trying to make plays. We saw Southwood at the beginning. We saw Bill get in there for like 30 seconds, and then finally Anthony Tucker started finding some room in there. So And that's something that I'm sure Coach Barry is talking with his guys at halftime, letting them know, hey, get the ball to the middle, get to those corners, force those bigs out, and good things should happen.
Now, 10 turnovers by the Steelers is higher than 5 by the Braves. Coach, on a back-to-back, you think the Steelers would play with more energy and with more pressure, but they're choosing to go with zone a lot of the times themselves.
As we said, it's Coach Barry trying to figure out his own team. He's got to figure out who's going to be able to get up and pressure these Braves. Somebody like Lou's probably not going to be able to do it. Tank, yeah. But again, somebody like their young second pick, he should be able to get up there. Jerry, somebody maybe like Angry Bird, can get up there and pressure full torque. We saw that's what gave these Braves some issues yesterday. So it's just the players trying to figure out their coach trying to figure out their players. It's a learning curve that the Braves were fortunate enough to do a couple years ago. At least Steelers just figuring it out right in front of our eyes.
Now, another kind of curious point is, Coach, when it comes to selecting what kind of zone defense you want to play, maybe do you do it for the matchup or the personnel of the opponents, or maybe do you do it for the space you want to cover?
It kind of depends on each coach. We've seen these Braves work on that zone the entire preseason. So that's a 3-2 zone they're obviously comfortable at, so probably don't see them moving to something else. So it depends what each team has in there.
Big rebounding advantage for the Braves, a lot of it on the offensive end. We talked about the turnovers and, of course, the shooting splits. 62 shots by the Braves in the first half. Several of them, of course, on the second chance follow-up. But the Steelers, 6 for 22, not good enough if they want to hang in this one. We'll go to another break for the rest of the halftime analysis.
在球场上跟队友一起比赛的时候，喊声是一件非常重要的事情，就是你随时要保持的，让队友知道你在干嘛，你在哪里，还有你的状态。对，然后我觉得，尤其在篮球场上，这个很重要。然后再来就是，场上5个人，可是台下有很多人，
没错。所
以球迷的力量是球员在场上奋斗的一个很重要的动力。所以我希望写一首歌，让球迷可以一起应援，然后让场上的球员可以听到球迷的声音，
就是靠大家的话声来为勇士加油。
对。
好，那来问一下，最近你是不是正在忙着宣传5月7号，好像有什么公开活动跟大家分享一下？
明年的5月7号在高雄流行音乐中心有的演唱会叫做《听到请回答》，然后现在已经售票当中了。那今天刚刚好也是要打高雄。
哎呦，尴尬喽！那我就问你，你要力挺谁？告诉大家。
什么行？
你要力挺谁？
当然是台北富邦勇士，
掌声鼓励。好了，最后一个问题，问题有点多，我想问一个问题，你都难得来到和平篮球馆，可不可以再为我们带来歌曲？
可以，我就带来这一首我第1张专辑里面大家比较听过的歌，就是《可以哟》。
欢迎姑姑。
你嫌我太帅，你说我太帅，你嫌我太低，这叫 LIHI。不用教我跳舞，怎么教来怎么打分数，不管什么流行路数，像是快乐像是不庸俗的这招，这招。小事你就别问我，想要跟上潮流就要活得够自我。有钱就是任性，这我没把握。主要是轻松建议每个 pose， 我手机都要像个。像。那些光说不练的，看我才有风度。说我太帅，像我太低，这叫 LIHI。不用教我跳舞，怎么教来怎么打分数，不管什么流行路数，像是快乐像是不庸俗的这招。
Follow the Plus League on all social media accounts: Facebook P.LEAGUE with a plus symbol, Instagram P.LEAGUE.official, and Twitter at P_League_EN. Coach, the only Brave to hit a three-pointer is Michael Singletary, and that's an area of the game that they like about their roster from top to bottom, but hard to show it off without the penetrating powers of their little guards.
Yeah, again, we've seen them struggle a little bit creating offensive opportunities. And with somebody like their free agent signing, Tongan not able to get loose from three, they've struggled a little bit to start the season.
Meanwhile, for the Steelers, Anthony Tucker's got 10 points, Benson with 8, Captain Liu Zhenlu with 6, Ansafu with 5, and Little Lu, Wang Lixiang with 4 points. Creating is something that everybody should be responsible for, but right now, Singletary leads the game with 23. Off the bench, Brendan Smart has 6, working on the inside. Zhou Gui, Zhang Dongxue, Ning Mengxue, and a couple other teammates right now sitting at 4 points apiece, trying to wait for them to get their offense to break down.
Yeah, really, Mike Singletary shouldering the entire load for these Braves, making up for a rough performance yesterday, really starting off with the economies today.
Only 9 fouls in this one after last night's 42 combined fouls for the two teams, so a very different kind of game right now.
That's the Dreamers we've talked about numerous times. Physical team defensively, somebody who's going to get up in your face. The Braves a lot more aggressive defensively yesterday. Today, just kind of sitting back in that zone.
We'll head to one more break before the second half of this one going on. Thank you for watching Plus League. We'll be back after this.
一人一排。好，那谷谷帮我一起站在中间，一起来合影好了。来，稍微往右边一步，哦，左边，你们的左边，对对对 ，OK。好，看前面摄影师。好，看中间摄影师哦。好的，也再一次恭喜3位得主，也用最热情的掌声，谢谢谷谷。
Inside, Heping Gymnasium in Taipei, home of the championship Braves in their second season, Plus League second season, up against the new team, one of two, Kaohsiung Steelers. So Coach, I kind of was curious, you don't have any experience with brand new franchises, but what do you think is kind of the goal and the framework for how Coach Barry and the staff prepare their guys for this upcoming season?
I think we've talked about it a little bit in the preseason, just kind of figuring out your team culture and kind of figuring out who you can build on going forward. Those are the most important things. Obviously, winning would be nice, but you kind of have to set those expectations for the players, for the fans, and let them know what they can expect. You're probably not going to be competing for a championship in that first season, but you just hope to be competitive in every game, give your fans something to be excited about, and something to look forward to in the future.
The Steelers have 6 rookies currently on their roster, so we're assuming that they're going to get plenty of play time during the season. I'm kind of curious as to your take of how much they'll develop in practice versus playing in the game.
And a lot of that just kind of depends on Coach Barry. He's going to play the guys that he thinks can help him win. And if those rookies are able to do that, then they'll see a lot of time on the court during games. If not, that'll be a lot of veterans. Like Andy Bird and like all the veterans they have. Captain Lou.
Tank, maybe not yet.
Tank. He's got some experience compared to these other guys, but definitely not something that challenging times for the Steelers.
With a lot of experience, Michael Singletary. Coach mentioned how he's a lot more aggressive. 10 for 24, that's 23 points and 9 rebounds. He did record a double-double in yesterday's game, 13 points, 11 rebounds, but taking a lot more ownership on the offensive end.
Yeah, obviously the biggest difference is those 24 shots. He's got those up in the first half, whereas yesterday in foul trouble, still trying to get his rhythm, only got 13 up. So he showed it all. Not shooting perfectly from the three-point line, only getting 27% of those to go in, but showing us the full arsenal of offensive weapons.
Maybe a product of their short rotation, maybe a product of playing their zone defense. But during the preseason, the Braves scored the lowest number of half-court full offense at 57 points per game and the highest number of fast break points at 19 per game. So kind of having to switch their mindset for this one, having their chance to run out, but overall still going to be a slower pace for them compared to the Steelers.
And that's something where if you're the opponent, you really want to kind of to push them in playing your style. But at this point, these Steelers don't really have a style of their own. This is their first game as a franchise in the regular season, so they can't say, hey, let's do what we did last year or do what we did earlier in the season and just kind of push the pace, get that full court press going. So it's definitely tough for Coach Barry. We just saw right there. I'm sure there's many things that he wants to put in, many things that he wants to do, but it's just too soon right now. There's somewhere like Coach Roger, he's able to go to a few more tricks that he has in his bag.
16 second-half turnovers for the Braves in last night's game against the Dreamers. You wonder how much of it is a product of the pressure and how much of it is on the Braves and their maybe carelessness with the basketball as they start the second half.
Yeah, yesterday it was the third quarter that really did those Braves in, giving up 41 points to the Dreamers. Much better start by Salfu there, and being able to hit that mid-range jumper against the zone, now knowing that that's going to be open all game.
Braves turn offense. Starters as Singletary misses that shot. Another rebound for Professor Tucker. 8 on the game already.
Yeah, Tucker always a triple-double threat. And doing it all for these Steelers.
Self from the outside banks it in. So much for the friendly backboard on the left side. The right side giving some love to the rookie.
As we said, the zone was effective in the first half, but the longer you stick with it, the more the opponent gets used to it. We see the perfect read right there by Mike Singletary and the perfect pass. Nice finish. As those Steelers top lock that pin down, Singletary able to get free on the baseline. But just a perfect pass, good chemistry from teammates who've played with each other for a season now. That's a luxury that they have that some of these other teams don't.
Is that one of those examples, Coach, of making reads that you encourage Taiwanese players to learn from?
Exactly. They went to that pin down play. It was an easy call right there for the refs. As Mongshui gets half of Lu's body, but the play they ran a pin down. The Steelers adjusted. They top locked it. Singletary knew to get a piece of the body, cut back door, and Sides have made the right pass. And not a play call, just a read.
Look at that as you missed the action that happened. It was transition. Mongshui this time the recipient.
Oh, apparently that wasn't a shooting foul.
In fact, it will be Benson who committed the foul. Another chance for the Braves. Singletary thought about it. Tricky dribble, loses it. Jerry to Captain Lu, 2-on-2, and gets the tough roll.
We just see with no shooting on the court for these Braves, these Steelers just sucking into the paint. Singletary got in the paint, saw 5 bodies, turned it over, and we're kind of seeing a repeat of what happened yesterday. Lots of turnovers for the Braves, and the opponent getting out in transition. This was some easy baskets.
Singletary missed the floater and unfortunately ricocheted off his right hand.
And this is the Steelers' opportunity. Had some nice possessions to start the second half. Showing a little bit more aggressive defense. This game's a long ways away from being over.
Salfu from the left corner, partial deflection.
That's the second block we've seen Big Z get on the perimeter. And a nice luxury for Coach Roger to have.
Jet patient with it, but Benson, good timing. The Steelers will come away with it.
Now if we could just get Big Z to make a layup.
Good run by Benson. This is behind, and Jet with the block shot.
And that's about the third or fourth time we've seen Benson rim run get under there, but just a great play by Jet to catch up with the weak side help. And kind of a soft finish. Jet, he's a little bit pumped up after that ball.
One of the strongest in the steals category last season, but throwing off the hops here. Well, sideline out of bounds.
Benson made it easy by not jumping. So.
Salfu from the right corner, high rainbow and in.
A quick 7 points here for Salfu in the third quarter. Up to 12 for the game. A much better start for the second half for the youngster.
Zaitsev taking his time. Jet will shoot the 3. Got it.
Steelers worried about that Big Z post up, helping a little bit too much, and Jet able to find some open space behind the 3-point line.
Anthony Tucker through the middle. Ran into the trouble and fortunate to keep the basketball.
Big Z just not able to hold on to this new basketball that we have this season.
Another look at this one as Jet likes to check his chin to the left and got the wheel celebration as Benson flies in for the lay-in.
Yeah, much more aggressive finish right there for Benson. Able to go up over Mongshui and finish for 2.
Jet working on Jerry, and is there a defensive foul?
And that's what we talked about, just being patient. Josh in the first half really in such a big rush. Jet, definitely not a traditional point guard, but that time just able to take his time, seal the defender, and use that screen. The Braves have guys that are willing to screen, but ball handlers got to be able to use it.
So when Jerry was drafted at 184 centimeters, considered by Taiwanese analysts as a tall point guard, but Jet at more than 190 centimeters has been running the show for the Braves. Anthony Tucker caught in the air. It'll be a turnover, 3-on-1. 2 points for the Jet.
Yeah, another great defensive play by Big Z. Again, stepping out of the paint, able to contest that shot, and Jet able to take advantage after the nice spin move to free himself. But the Steelers starting to push the pace a little bit, just not able to make shots in transition.
Loose ball foul by Benson. Captain Liu tried to intercept, caught on the wrong side, and it's 2 points for the Braves.
We talked about the size advantage the Jet has, obviously, in transition, obviously going to have an advantage athletically, and that's why it's curious why Jerry's not getting up and pressuring him. Jet, when you give him space, that's when he's at his best. If you pressure him like we've seen teams do in the past, he struggles with it.
Nice step through and a bank shot for number 3.
The second time we've seen him go to that step through move. Again, if you give him space and let him do what he wants to, that's what Jet will do to you.
Tucker's push pass. Captain Liu misses the finger roll. Numbers for the Braves. Singletary foul and got the bucket.
We've seen these Braves just take advantage of their size advantage in transition. Jerry, the second time in a row, got stuck on a transition defense situation, and as we've seen throughout his career, Singletary finding bodies and just punishing them and showing off that work he's put off in the weight room, right?
27 points for Michael Singletary. There it goes, 27 points and 10 rebounds. Make that 28. Only Zhang Dongxin's 11 points is 2 Braves in double digits. Benson from the middle working on Mengxue, choosing to pass it. Little to Tucker, that's a turnover. And the Braves with energy, Mengxue turned the shot away. Zaitsev penetration will be fouled on the drive.
Nice use of the pump fake as a weapon, getting Benson off his feet, going with the drive, but these Steelers still struggling to find somebody who can make plays for them in the middle of that zone. Liu with the turnover right there. Once again, turnover leads to fast break opportunities.
The first break in the action, the second half. We'll go to commercials, but stay with us for the Plus League's second season. Back after this.
好，观众朋友们，请看大荧幕，被拍到了球迷朋友们站起来模仿林志杰的运球动作，就是这样子哈，运球非常的帅气，被拍到模仿他一下 ，OK。模仿杰哥的运球的动作，是教练模仿，你可以站起来模仿他运球的动作。当然你也可以当做没听到。旁边有一个林志杰的人像在那里，你可以站起来，我们的摄影机会带给你运球啊，非常好，在打篮球哦。这位我们的小妹妹站起来做出运球的动作。
Right back to the game after a quick break. I'm Ryan Chen, joined by Coach Ben. We see the fans participating in the in-game camera and posing. Maybe some artwork on the mind of that young fan. In this third quarter, the pace has picked up quite a bit, Coach, and also has led to a number of turnovers, mainly on the Steelers side.
We talked about it before. These Braves traditionally thrive in transition. In the second half, the Steelers sparking those transition opportunities by turning the ball over. And regardless whether it's Jed or Singletary, those are guys that are tough to stop once they get ahead of steam.
Eir Zaitsev makes the first.
Yeah, as good as Singletary's been today, Big Z has been. He's had a rough start to his regular season. We'll just say that. We see 2 of 12. Good effort defensively with those rebounds, and again, we've seen 2 blocks at the 3-point line and then another stop on top. Not the kind of performance you'd expect from last year's import MVP.
Active hands, and Jed gets another possession for the Braves.
And that's the up and down you're going to see from these young players. Southall with a nice start to the second half, and then now with a couple turnovers. So That's the challenge that these Steelers are going to have.
Puncture from the top, and Zaitsev right back up, and 2 more points.
He made a layup.
Indeed, the import of the year last season proved his value on the defensive end a lot of the time. Also, second player with a 2020 record after Hashim Thabit. Behind the back by Singletary, going against Tucker and Tank. And Tank was too much for him.
I think it's too much for a lot of people, Ryan.
But there, good agility and 2 more points. The Braves running away with this one.
Yeah, that time just going up and around Tank. You see them taking a page out of their own playbook after turnovers on the inbounds pass. And kind of falling apart here for the Steelers in the third.
We talked about it extensively, how the Braves extremely thin to the point of having no true guards in their lineup for this game, but now the Steelers having trouble keeping hold of the basketball.
And it's going to be an issue if the defense is getting up and pressuring you. But we've seen today, Steelers content to just kind of step back and let guys get into their own offense and go at their own pace. So that's something that the Steelers are going to have to look at going forward. Who are those guys who can bring that defensive pressure? Who are those guys who can force the pace defensively? We saw it yesterday, Yang Sung-Yen do it for the Dreamers. That's somebody who can kind of change the game with his energy. But up to this point, there's really been nobody for the Steelers who's been able to do that.
On screen previously, no free throws for the Steelers yet. Jet, meanwhile, has 5 steals. Tucker will fire away. No.
Tucker, we know that he's talented offensively. He can really do it all. But today, against this zone, he's probably only been in the paint 5 or 6 times. Usually, he spends a lot of time in the paint, coming off those pick and rolls. But today, these Braves doing a good job just keeping him.
This time hits the mid-range.
Good job getting cut off, hit that step back over the second-year player. Steelers are going to need a lot more of that if they want to stay competitive in this game.
Nice move, but rip block from behind. Little hesitated, then shot it. 3 points. Good run by the Steelers.
Yeah, good transition attack. And with the mismatch, Big Z hesitant to get out there. Nice little run there for the Steelers.
Going with physicality. And the Steelers got their hands on the basketball.
And once again, in the half court, just not a lot of room for Singletary to drive. Just no outside threats to pull the defense out of there. He's seeing bodies in the paint every time he gets there. So really the most effective he's been so far is in transition. So Coach Roger puts some shooting in, hopefully to space the floor out a little bit.
Jackie Dunkeringer had an extremely short stint in the first half. He's in number 29, making his way to the top of the key as Singletary trying to find space. Missed shot. Brendan Smart, recipient, and 2 points off of the miscue by the Steelers.
It's just those energy plays that Smart needs to give you. Not the most skilled player in the world, but somebody who can bring that energy. A nice play defensively there, just being in the right place at the right time, forcing a turnover. And for a young player trying to figure out his role in this roster, that's what the coach likes to see.
The Steelers call timeout, and it'll be another break for us. Try to stem the Braves' run here. Be back after the break. Taiwan is closing in on 20 million vaccinated. Get more information and your jab in the arm. Visit www.cdc.gov.tw. Good run by the Braves, and Coach, I'm kind of curious as to your suggestions for the Steelers' strategy to break the Braves' pressure.
To be completely honest, this has nothing to do with the Braves' pressure and really all to do with these Steelers. Just some silly turnovers. We've seen some bad passes in the backcourt, just not very organized. And again, they're just kind of shooting themselves in the foot at this point.
Jackie takes a dribble and nails the three.
And that's why Coach Roger put him in the game. Somebody who's a proven shooter in this league. Got stuck a couple times yesterday with long twos and got one up early in the first half. But that's where he needs to shine, especially against the zone for these Steelers.
One of the rare baseline out of bounds with Benson stepping on the baseline. Shooting percentage, slight advantage to the Braves overall, and three-point percentage kind of catching up too. Singletary, Zaitsev screen. Josh from the corner, no. Another board, another tough make for Singletary. No boxing out by the Steelers.
Coach Berry's got to be disappointed in Keith Benson's effort right there on the boards. Position there. Just Singletary just wanting it more than everybody else, getting that rebound.
Deep three by Wang Liuxiang. Poked out of bounds by Dennis. Hasn't hardly played in this game.
Yeah, we see Coach Berry just trying to figure out a rotation, trying to figure out a five-man roster that works. Tank hasn't been effective today, putting in another youngster, Dennis.
Yeah, this is Chen Dewei, who last played 2 seasons ago at the collegiate level at Sixing. Singletary with space. He floats it up and in.
Yeah, just great use of his body to seal Tucker behind, putting Benson in no man's land. Able to get that floater to go and extend this Braves lead.
Back in their zone, Benson. Smart on him. The length bothering the Steelers until Dennis's three. Tucker's board and Tucker's lay-in.
You said it earlier, Tucker always a threat for a triple-double. Nice weak side rebound there off the three.
Now, Little Lou guarding Michael Singletary. He fires from deep, short, and Smart with another offensive board.
Yeah, you think that these Steelers are the team onto a back-to-back right now. Just not a lot of life as we see Big Z get one of those offensive rebound three-pointers. I'm sure it's something that Coach Berry can't be thrilled with.
Benson drives and leads to Jerry on the left side. He counters.
Nice ball movement, nice passing around the perimeter. Jerry able to get a three to go down.
Little Lou was Michael Singletary's teammate for the shortest stint while he was still a Brave. Nice opening as Zaitsev with the easy lay-in.
Yeah, we see the rookie get caught on the weak side, not helping. We've seen that combination work so many times in this first 3 quarters. Once again, Singletary and Big Z doing what they do best.
Jerry finds room but misses the layup. And a couple Braves kick the basketball. A lucky violation that the Steelers want to take advantage of.
Yeah, after a rough couple minutes for the rookie, Coach Berry getting Captain Blue back in the game.
Nice closeout will lead to a Tucker shot, and looks like Brennan Smart might have deflected it behind the basket.
I would expect so, because you don't see Anthony Tucker miss that badly. Nice defensive effort by another one of these Braves bigs.
Benson taking his time. His three is in.
Not a lot of knowledge right there on the Braves' part. not much of a scouting report for Keith Benson. Not sure if he's a shooter or not. Able to take advantage of the indecision by the defense.
20-point lead for the Braves. Missed shot by Singletary. Little Lou from the corner. Can't make it 2 in a row, and there's a loose ball foul. The Braves now in the bonus. Been in the bonus for a while.
It seems like they've been in the bonus the entire third quarters. These Braves not wanting the same thing that happened to them last night to occur again. A lot more focused, a lot more aggressive here in this third quarter. Able to extend their lead.
Brendan Smart with a chance to get to double-digit scoring.
And that's what you want to see. Guys down for these Braves. They're going to be extended minutes for guys that aren't used to this playing time, and you love to see them succeed. Again, somebody like Brendan Smart, who had a rough rookie year, trying to figure out what his role was going to be on this team. Has had a much better start to this second season.
Kind of out of the opportunity, he's already surpassed last season's scoring high of 8 points in a single game. Captain Lou to Jerry, driving kick game. Little Lou from the corner, too strong.
It's good to see these Steelers going back to finding where the openings are in the corners of the zone, and that's the difference between Singletary and Jet in transition. You know, those guys just with superior athletic abilities and size. At that time, a little bit easier for the Steelers to stop Josh.
Third quarter buzzer goes off, and that'll be another break for us before we come back with the rest of this Plus League game.
加油版有没有特别是为了谁而前来的，或者是勇士队的，都可以让比尔来选，因为被他选到的就可以获得一张 VIP 的会员卡。是什么的 VIP 呢？这一张会员卡可以让你到 TGI Fridays 美式餐厅以及德州鲜切牛排的餐厅，只要你进去，你就是我们勇士的会员，8折，8折，无论什么时候带着那一张卡进去我们的餐厅，都是享有8折的优惠。所以以后在我们主场第3节结束，都可以有机会来举起你的手工制作的应援加油版，让比尔发现之后，我们就可以来送你8折的优惠会员卡。那么这个比尔现在找到哪一区了？还有哪一区的朋友举起你自己制作的加油版，无论你是支持勇士，还是每一位球员，甚至 Angels 的，都欢迎大家赶紧举起你的加油版，高举起来，比尔才有机会来将这个 VIP 的8折会员卡送给各位。赶快赶快！如果你今天特地前来的，举起来，让比尔走过去找你，让他亲自送你。那同时也要在最后提醒大家，以后的主场都要记得带你们的应援加油牌来到主场，就有机会获得8折的会员卡，可以让你到我们的德州鲜切牛排以及我们的 Fridays 的美式餐厅，都可以获得我们的8折 VIP 会员卡。
Mascot for the Taipei Fubon Braves, Bill, visiting with the audience in tow. 3 players for each team scoring in double digits, coach, but the big difference right now is Michael Singletary's 34 points, leading the Braves to a significant lead.
Yeah, obviously not thrilled with his performance yesterday. Singletary from the tip is really taking it upon himself to lead these Braves. Looking a little sluggish at times, but Singletary not letting him fall into the same trap that they did yesterday. Much better third quarter by the Braves, extending their lead going into the fourth.
But I also noticed that the Braves, all of them on the floor, working in their capacity to contribute to this game. You got Zhang Guiyu's outside shooting. You have Winston with his smarts and Brendan Smart with his hustle. Everybody's kind of getting in on this one, even though having 8 guys in the rotation.
And you like to see that, knowing that you're down some guys. some of these younger players come into today knowing that they're going to have to play a huge role. As we see Monsieur with the turnover. But yesterday, maybe a little bit of a surprise for them figuring out that they were going to play that much. As we see a wedgie, Ryan.
We see a wedgie.
Exciting times here in Taiwan. That's the most animated I've seen. You get all day, Ryan. You love wedgies, huh?
No, I don't remember calling a wedgie.
I know, it's the first in the entire history of our league, Ryan.
That is that true? Somebody will tell us.
Yeah, somebody's memory's better than mine.
3 guys close out on Captain Liu. Fortunate as Isef avoided injury there.
Yeah, Liu, we've seen him do it before, using the pump fake as a weapon, knowing that Big Z's a willing defender closing out.
Lansoff will come into the game sporting the LP short sleeve compression shirt.
We're going into the 4th quarter, and these Steelers still haven't figured out a way to get the Braves out of this 3-2 zone. As we see Liu hit that 3, just not a lot of that for these Steelers today.
Winston finding Monsieur down low. Good steal by Zaisev.
And that's just experience. The Braves saw that they went into that 3-2 zone of their own. They know the play, big screen. Great screen by Big Z. Actually, better layup by Monsieur, as we've seen the Braves struggle with those today.
Little errant pass, but Captain Liu makes the most out of it. 2 points.
Yeah, chased off the 3-point line, able to hit from the mid-range. And that's a little bit curious to me, Ryan. We've seen these Steelers struggle against the 3-2 zone, but they have a 3-2 zone of their own, so not sure why they wouldn't know how to be able to break it if they're going against it in practice all the time.
Good hustle by Big Z, and another possession for the Braves. Kind of seeing the effects of the long quarantine and not a lot of run-up time for Keith Benson to get into the basketball shape.
Yeah, that quarantine is no joke. I did it myself. It was another ridiculous turnover from these Braves.
Jerry to the basket. Softball from the corner, short. But there's Benson. Right spot there, but he's doubled. Ought to knock the Brave out of the way, and it's turnover. Winston will put up the old man hook shot, beating Captain Liu.
Yeah, that's national team veteran on national team veteran violence right there. Winston, knowing Liu ain't gonna jump at that one, just threw it up. His old man YMCA game.
Now Benson in the interior, tough shot, got the roll, and he'll have a chance at the line.
Yeah, nice little hook shot right there. Big Z pushing him with that left hand. Benson able to get that half hook to go down. As we see, probably the least athletic fast break we've had of this young season.
Isn't
2 points is 2 points.
Isn't it a little athletic for him to put on the brakes like that?
I think you're giving Winston a little bit too much credit.
I think the fans should be reminded that Coach Ben coached Winston for a long time.
I did. And I coached him for, what, 7 years? It's only 5 or 6 years ago, and he was just as unathletic then as he is now. But Winston is everybody in Taiwan knows him. He's the local import, just a smart player, great teammate, somebody who just helps teams win.
Screen leads Brendan Smart, but shot blocked.
Yeah, nice anticipation there by Tank. 3rd time the Braves will run that play. That time Tank able to get a piece of that shot.
Benson from the top will try to bank it in. No. Also, Winston, one of the few players to have the low socks. If we're looking at some sock fashion.
I was not, but I'm glad to see you were.
Jet taking his time, now finding space. Into a Singletary, deep three and deep hit.
And that's the luxury that these Braves have. They can take Singletary off the ball, let Jet create, able to get in the middle of the zone and find Singletary. Once again, gets loose from three.
Only 4 for 14 from the outside. Singletary making his way to a possible plus league record in single game scoring. Salfu from the other side, disrupted, and Benson powers it home.
And these are the minutes that Benson has to take advantage of. With no import big in there, the reigning MVP for imports not in the game, and Benson able to take advantage and get the offensive rebound put back.
A little bit more momentum for both teams, but we'll go to a break. Braves up big.
比尔已经开始准备发放了吗 ？Angels 也可以准备开始喽。那如果有掉的，帮我捡起来，不要再让在场上。哦，看来已经没有了。赶快打开看一下，上面有中奖的举手，有贴红色中奖的举手。那么有拿到中奖的，麻烦你在赛后的时候来到我们场外的拉霸机，一起来兑换奖项。如果没有的话，就带回家做纪念。谢谢我们的局长，谢谢。我说哈了。
I'm Ryan Chen, next to Coach Ben Metcalf, your English commentary for Plus League basketball. Coach asked me, could both teams have momentum? And I corrected myself. I guess both teams have a little bit more energy 4 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, at this point, the Steelers are still trying to get into the swing of things. Coach Barry trying a bunch of different roster combinations, but up till this point really hadn't found anything that can have consistent success. After that timeout, we just saw Anthony Tucker in the game. And hopefully, with only one import on the court, he'll be able to get a little bit more room and be able to get loose here in this fourth quarter.
Tucker's on the wing of the zone, pressuring Winston. Swap spots with Jerry. As Winston finds space, his shot is in.
Yeah, we said it this whole game, against any zone, you're going to have a guy you're going to need to have that guy who can create in the middle, and we've seen Winston be able to do it his entire career, just get shots for himself and others in the middle of that zone, as we see right there. The undersized Jerry doing the exact same thing, getting in that soft spot, using the pump fake, and getting the shot to go.
So far, 7 points for the rookie in his debut as Smart took his eyes off the basketball. It'll be a turnover.
Yeah, you said it, Ryan. Just sloppy play right there by Smart. Careless turnover, and that's the things that you have to eliminate as a young player. Do the simple things and worry about the rest later.
Jerry once again in the middle. Little lose three, way off the mark.
But we've seen Coach Barry kind of give up on Salfu in the middle, give up on Bill in the middle, and he's found some success with Jerry in the middle and Tucker right there. So something that they'll know going forward. Other teams are definitely scouting this game, and they may pop this on up against, but that's the issue right there. That's just effort. Smart getting his own missed jumper shot, putting it in for two, and those are the mistakes that you really can't get if you're an expansion team. You got to be able to out-hustle teams. You got to be able to out-effort teams. So those are these errors that Coach Barry can't accept, I'm sure.
Little Lou was pleading his case, but unfortunately couldn't save Tank's playmaking into a turnover.
Yeah, I see Coach Roger real friendly with his former player. Spent the entire summer with these Braves before getting shipped off to Kaohsiung. So Coach Roger happy to see his former player, but even happier to see his former player turn it over.
Funny that you use the word chip, because Kaohsiung is a port city. Jet trying to put on the moves with the hardest turnaround fadeaway. Derek Austin with his first career rebound. Tucker hesitated and Nice hands by Singletary. It will be a turnover.
It looked like Tucker had gotten free. Singletary able to get a piece of the ball and knock it off of Tucker's knee. As we go forward, go through this season, it'll be interesting to see how much of this is just a result of that quarantine. You know that regardless whether it's Big Z or Singletary, they've been out of quarantine for a while, so they've had a chance to practice with their teammates. They've had a chance to get back into basketball shape. But somebody like Anthony Tucker or Keith Benson, they haven't been out of quarantine for quite as long. They're still trying to get their legs under them.
Personal foul on Ray Li Mengxue. Third team foul by the Braves as Captain Liu forces up a tough three. 4-on-1 for the Braves. Jet, another left-handed lay-in.
We continue to see Jerry just get stuck on the losing end of these odd-numbered breaks. Once again, Jet just completely ignoring him, extending and finishing over the rookie point guard.
Jerry with some space, puts it up. Derek Austin almost with an offensive rebound. The Steelers chance anyways as Jerry in and out with the three. Once again, a run out for the Braves. From the other side, Zhang Zhongxin with a pretty spin move.
What we said, you give Jet space, especially in transition, that is where he thrives. Nice creative finish there on the break. Him just doing what he does best.
Derek Austin will try the mid-range, leave it short, and Little Lou with the offensive rebound. Captain Lou coaxed the foul on the drive.
We're getting into garbage time, Ryan, but with only, what, 8 players playing today for the Braves, I don't know whether these starters are going to get much of a break.
25-point difference with almost 5 minutes on the clock. Bill tries the deep two, rolls out.
And this is where you'd hope Coach Roger puts in somebody like Tang Yu, somebody who's trying to get used to how the Braves play and maybe can get a little bit familiar with his teammates, because we've seen with the woes that the Braves have had from the perimeter to start out this season, he's somebody that they're going to need to count on going forward.
Jerry lost it, then found it. Tucker can't reward him.
That's the most open Tucker's been all game. Not able to hit the three-pointer, but I'm sure that not the start that these Steelers were looking for, but it's definitely going to get better as the season progresses.
Smart from the corner. Short with it. Tucker, another rebound. He's 1 assist away from a triple-double. Choose to fire away and hit home.
He's not going to get that assist if he keeps shooting, Ryan.
I guess we would say prioritization. 17 points on 17 shots.
At this point, these Steelers need every point they can get.
Too fast. Zhang Zhongxin puts it up, but it is out. Fancy spin by Tucker. Go to the rim. Not called, and finally got the foul call.
Trying to get the assist to himself right there.
Is that possible?
No.
Oh, okay.
Maybe a rebound, though, but at the home court, I'm sure that that's not something that these scorekeepers are going to give him.
The Braves call timeout. Try to get some substitutions in and out. I guess they've requested a timeout, but maybe not yet. Josh Oakley is in the game. As you see Singletary take a seat next to Zaitsev, and very empty bench tonight. Only Joe Lin in street clothes on the edge.
Joe Lin not with that big fur coat that we saw yesterday. Different fashion choices for the players not on the active roster.
I don't know if I'm helping or hurting, but the Steelers are 0 for 3 from the free throw line. And theirs a made three by Captain Winston.
You're hurting, Ryan. You kill these guys.
No.
You're the best defender every game.
Derek Austin with a push shot, got it. And now there's a timeout. 2:14 left on the game clock. Maybe giving his guys a breather. The Braves have hit the 100-point mark. Steelers sitting at 77. So the first game in the history of the Steelers in the regular season, not going along the plans, but it shows resiliency of the Braves to play the good discipline and to spread around the minutes and the responsibility.
We also see the difference between the preseason and the regular season. These Steelers able to get one off of these Braves in the preseason down on their home court, but despite being down 6 rotation players and on a back-to-back, these defending champions have found good combinations and good contributions from their imports and some of their younger locals.
The next time you can catch the Braves is Saturday at 5 p.m. December 11th in Hsinchu, and we'll also be there for the Lioneers-Steelers game the next day on Sunday. So getting very familiar with these two teams in their early goings.
Yeah, first weekend able to see 3 teams. Next weekend we'll be able to see the remaining 3 teams. And I'm sure fans from all those teams are very excited and look forward to the futures for their teams this second season.
Off the reset. Jackie will fire the deep 2, too strong.
And that's just puzzling to me. He's a 3-point shooter. He's wide open from 3. He steps in and misses a long-range 2. I'm not sure if that's a confidence thing or what that is, but that's something he needs to look forward to going forward.
Wu Ziyi with his first 2 points as a member of the Steelers. Last year was with the Lioneers. He's on the board guarding Brendan Smart. Dokori driving. Loose with the basketball, but foul called.
Yeah, I think we're officially into garbage time, Ryan.
Officially?
Officially.
Coach Metcalf certified garbage time.
We've been in it in a while, but it is officially garbage time now.
I see.
But for these Steelers, there really is no garbage time. You're going to be down over the course of the season. And this is the perfect time for them to forge that identity. They got 4 rookies on the court with their import. And we saw right there it was Anthony Tucker bringing everybody together, huddling them up, talking them up. And as locals, you really can't let that happen. You got to take your identity from the team. You can't rely on the import to do that for you.
1 for 2 trip. As Dennis drives and runs into space, flings it wildly. That's a spot there, Coach, where I would think a pull-up jumper would be nice.
I told you we're into garbage time, Ryan. You never know what's going to happen in garbage time.
Tucker, pick and roll. Dennis, maybe on the positive side of the scorecard, but now a turnover. And just a lay-in by Jackie. He had a much meaner ambitions.
And then thought better of it after what happened to his teammate last night. Decided to go for the easy
2. Lee from the corner, no. I guess the Steelers are finally playing with more urgency, but not smart with the basketball as Jackie with another lay-in. Maybe one last substitution with 52 and 0.6 of a second. Did I get that right, Coach?
I mean, that's not even math. That's reading.
Thanks. Anthony Tucker will take a seat. There's another turnover. Uzi had an open shot.
Speaking of lineups with no point guards, this lineup for the Steelers is interesting.
Well, perhaps, Coach, if you're going up against the zone, you don't need somebody dribbling it from the top. Is that possible, or is it just garbage time?
You're probably going to need somebody who can shoot.
All the guys work on three-point shooting on the
Doesn't mean they're
Steelers.
shooters. And again, some guys are open for a reason.
But after a cold shooting start, the Braves are now above 43% for the game. Meanwhile, the Steelers only at 36%, but taking 14 less shots. A product of the turnovers, a product of the offensive rebounds. Tokoyu looks like we'll take the turnover. We'll see how the scores count that one.
Okay, it is a team turnover, as they tend to. But Josh has had enough turnovers for everybody in these past few games at point guard, so can't blame him for trying to give it to somebody else.
Final bucket before the final buzzer. Taipei Fubon Braves even up their record at 1-1 after a solid victory over the Kaohsiung Steelers. Coach DeMarcus Berry in his head coaching debut here in the Plus League, and the team probably wish they had a better effort going or better game planning. In the end, they lose this one.
Yeah, obviously tough to go up against the defending champions in your first game as a franchise, especially after they're fired up after a loss, after giving up a huge lead. So don't envy the Steelers, but lots of room for improvement for this young team going forward.
Still a long season, and the Steelers will have 29 more games on their schedule. Stick around for a post-game interview. We're told that Michael Singletary is the man donning the headphones for that interview.
Yeah, Singletary, no doubt player of the game here for these Braves. Didn't have to worry about him looking tired. Didn't have to worry about him looking lethargic, just coming out with energy and just dominating.
Now for the Steelers, do you see anything that might be something that they took out away from this game compared to the preseason?
I think they took away that it's a completely different game. They saw struggles against that 3-2 zone of the Braves. Really not much of a defensive intensity, and that's something that they're going to have to identify going forward.
Asked if he was
yeah,
feeling
I'm a little tired, but it's okay. As long as we got the win, that's all that matters, man. We needed it after yesterday, so big win for us today. Yeah.
Asked how the team prepares for back-to-back.
You just got to go out there and
such
play.
a short rotation.
We play for each other, and we play for the guys that aren't able to play. So a lot of those guys like Beast and Jack and some of those guys that got hurt yesterday and that we've had in and out of the lineup, they wish they could be out there playing for us. So no matter if we have 8 guys or 5 guys, it doesn't matter. We got to come out here and play as hard as we can and try to win. Yeah.
Asked about his career high 37 in the
a lot of
Plus League.
shots that I should have made. So I'm happy about the 37 points because it led to a win. So for me, that's the only thing that matters is the win tonight. So I'm happy for our team. I'm happy for the fans, and Fubon Nation, I'm happy for them. Yes, sir.
Now asked about being defending champs and the challenge
I think
that
it's
presents.
adversity like we have right now. This is a big challenge for us, is playing with 8 guys. That's a huge challenge for us. So we know that throughout the season we're going to have challenges. We're going to have stretches where we're not playing good basketball and stuff like that. But we got a championship DNA in our team, and we just have to continue to get better and continue to improve. And when it comes down to the real games and the playoff time, and when it's time to go, we'll be ready. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks to Michael Singletary for joining the post-game coverage here in the Plus League. It's game 2 in the books. Thank you all for joining our broadcast. I'm Ryan Chen along with Coach Metcalf. Watching a valiant effort, if we could say, by the 8 guys of the Braves up against a 12-man rotation for the Steelers, but lack of organization and lack of playing together led to the victory and the loss. We'll go to a break before wrapping this one up from Hoping Gymnasium. I feel like I'm more tired after the back-to-back.
It's like, are we getting out or not getting out, or what the hell is going on?
You know what I should do is I should just translate the name.
The
Plus League defending champion Taipei Fubon Braves go 1-1 in the first homestand of the season and our opening weekend here in the Plus League in version 2.0. They take down the Kaohsiung Steelers handedly as we get to preview next week's matchup. The early game will be the new Taipei Kings showing themselves off for the first time against the Formosa Taishing Dreamers down at the Taichung Mini Dan. And in the late game, the Taipei Fubon Braves, these Braves will take on the Hsinchu Jiekou Lioneers at Hsinchu County Stadium at 5 p.m.
Yeah, switching some venues, and we see the new look Kings. Exciting for everybody in this league.
We'll get to know all the other teams and the content in the Plus League. But for now, on behalf of Coach Ben, our Mandarin broadcasters, Mandarin colleagues, everyone in the league, and all the teams, thank you for watching our broadcast and tuning in. Hopefully we get to see you in the arenas in the future Plus League action. But after maybe a tough one here, we'll be signing off soon enough.